survivor. I'm a survivor, survivor. Who will be the ultimate survivor? Let's find out when you spend a day in our shoes. All you creators, our sanctuary is waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor. I'm a survivor.
Hold on a minute. Can we just take a moment to read this comment at the bottom from Miss Louise? All hail Lord Lester, master of the Longhorns, horse whisperer, and little spoons. Dang, need a whole paragraph to say your name, Lester.
I'm gonna roll.
I love that, Miss Louise. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm flattered, but thank you so very much. Can we just leave it all night? Can we just leave it here all night? Look, Facebook people are not even here yet. Can we at least leave it on there long enough until Facebook finally finds out that we went live and they can all jump in to read what Miss Louise has to say right there?
Sure thing, your lordness.
Listen, I really am flattered. Listen, my whole life I was just Lester, and then I was Elwood. So Elwood, you know about Elwood.
It's still my favorite name.
You know about Elwood. So you all know about Elwood. So my name was, when I was little, Lester, but they called me L.E. However, I could not say L.E., so I would say Elwood. And so I learned to say Elwood. So I went with Elwood for the longest time. And then at some point, I learned to say Lester, but by then I was in middle school. So you know how middle school is, Lester the molester. So now I'm not just Lester, I'm Lester the molester. And that was the funniest thing for all of these people to call me. And then finally I get to high school where I'm cool enough to give myself a name, the Red Rapper. And so I'm used to having a lot of names. I'm used to having a lot of names, okay? And if lo and behold, someone does not grant me or buy me or give me a plot of land in England, and they give me a title of Lord Lester. Oh my gosh. And then all of the things just kind of follow along with it. So, Jamie, what can you do? I'm so sorry that you're just Jamie. I'm so sorry that you're.
I'm happy to be just Jamie.
You're just Jamie.
Happy to be just
JJ,
Jamie.
just Jamie. Just JJ, just Jamie.
You know what's really? Don't say JJ. I don't know. That's not.
Just Jamie. You okay with just Jamie?
You want to know what's funny? Right before this live started, Lester looks directly at me and goes,
no.
I hope you have things to talk about because I have nothing to talk about.
I have
and for
nothing.
2 minutes and 59 seconds, Lester Morrow just rambled his ass off. So anyway.
That's all I got. That's all I got the whole rest of the night. It's all yours, JJ. Just Jamie. Let me go ahead and hide that. Miss Louise, I could read that over and over and over.
He will.
But I'm not master of the Longhorns. I'm not. And I'm not a horse whisperer. And I don't even know about that whole little spoon thing. I don't even know that was a one-time thing.
It was a last night thing. And I watched you do it with ramen too.
Jamie, you're making it worse. It was a couple of every once in a while, just every once in a while. We'll just say every once in a while when we're cold or when we don't feel well. Okay. But no, that is cute. I'm going to have to let it go. I'm going to have to just move on from it. Cause if not, I'm going to end up and then next thing you know, I'm going to be floating off, Jamie. I'll be floating off. So you guys have to come up with something for Jamie.
I don't mean you've called me Jamie Cakes.
Jamie Cakes is cute. I'm good with Jamie Cakes. It's been a really exciting week. And by all means, I have rambled for the last 4 minutes. So you can jump in at any place. But you know, if you think about it, it was a week ago today that we knew that for a certainty, yet we couldn't talk about it yet. We knew there was something big in the works. And I do believe that we were saying and trying to hint that there was something big in the works. But I knew we could not talk about it. And sure enough, everything that we had hoped for came to fruition. And we found ourselves in really walking little men, walking amongst giants, or a giant this week. We found ourselves as very little people walking amongst true giants. And you know, it's one thing that you have Carl and you have Tex and you have, you know, Moo, that big galoot back in Plum Grove, and you have some big babies that we love. But I'll tell you something, there is just really something so special about this big fella. And I know you feel it too. I know that I have spent a lot more time with him just because of the fact of the spatial where I spend most of the time and you have to be here. I get it. And so that's given me quite the advantage over you. And I'm sorry about that. Even though I low key kind of like, I have that little evil snicker that you all know. We all have that, y'all. We all have that. But no, it's just been it's been a really fun week getting to know that guy. And listen, oh, go ahead. I know you want to talk about it.
Hold on, before you get started, because I want to pour myself a soda. Someone sent me this box, and I opened it right before we went live, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is for Timeout Tuesday, and it's beautiful." Except for I won't be here Timeout Tuesday. You get an extra dose of Little Spoon Lester. So I was gonna pour myself a soda, and I wanted to do that first, but I want to give like the download on Roman. Okay.
Well, hold on. Before you do, I have to justify and clarify something. So today I'm watching Rick. You all know Rick, Think Like a Horse, one of our favorite horse people, just a master of knowing the horse and how horses think. And I'm sure it was a very sweet lady who went on there and had to say that Lester goes live at least 3 or 4 times a day now. So Lester does go live quite a bit more than what I used to. And can I just tell them why real fast? You guys have to know that, oh no, she's touching my leg. She's touching my leg. Lester. I'm not going to touch business. We're going to talk business. Why you're squeezing my leg? Okay.
Way to be all nonchalant. Pretty soon I'm going to have to spill my drink all over the computer, and we're going to have to shut the whole thing down so that you just shut up. Okay. Lester loves talking to you. Lester loves talking to you. And his audience is different between 2 channels, right? Is that where you're going with this?
I was going to make it even more simple than that. I was going to say that, yes, I do go live for different reasons and at different locations and with different animals. But to all the sweet people that just can't stand that I go live 2, sometimes 3 times a day, just know that no one is holding you by the neck, making you watch. They're not having your ears, making you listen. No one's doing that to you. You have a choice, my sweet friends. You have a choices, and those choices are to go watch something else. But I have bills to pay, Jamie. I have bills to pay. Okay, ouch. Okay, that's my bad knee. I have bills that I don't care if I pay them or not. Please. Okay. But I will be live for Jamie on Tuesday night. I will be hosting me, and I have some good friends of mine, all guys. And we're going to give you ladies a night you'll never forget. So on Tuesday, while Jamie is traveling, you're going to see me and a few good friends of mine, all men, and all of us are over the age of 18. And we're going to give you ladies a night, and you guys, if you guys, that's fine too. We're going to give you a night you're not going to soon forget. That's all I'm going to say about it. So we hope to see you guys on Tuesday.
People are like, Lester goes live because he has to pay Roman's feed bill.
That is true.
That's true.
That is true. Roman didn't cost us a darn thing. But I tell you what, when that lady said that he's eating her out of house and home, I thought it was a joke. I did not realize that fella is going to eat a square bale of green hay, a whole bale every couple of days. And then to find out from Mr. Rick today that I may be underfeeding him because they need 2% of their body weight.
I told you, and you didn't believe me. He's like, he can't eat that much. I'm like,
so for all of you math people, help me out over here. If you're a math person or if you have a calculator, I don't even know how to figure this out. Maybe you can do it in your head. If he weighs 2,000 pounds, what is 2% of 2,000 pounds? Is that 20? And then if a square bale weighs 100 pounds, how many square bales, or I'm sorry, how many days should it take to go through a square bale of hay? 40. So 40 pounds. So 20 or 40. So that everyone is saying different numbers. I know it's not 200. He can't eat 200 pounds of hay a day.
1% is 20.
So 1% would be 20. So 2% would be 40. So that would be about half a bale of alfalfa hay a day, Jamie. Darn it. So that is, so you were right. And then the thing is, Roman will not let you hear the end of it. If he's hungry, he's going to scream at me. And it's not to say, hey, man, like not like, hey, man. It's like, hey, man, hey, Hay, hey, I'm hungry. And so we really do want to keep Roman on his regiment. The lady said that he did not have a lot of grains. They didn't give him a lot of grains, but he did eat a lot of hay. And so we discovered that.
So one thing to think through is that alfalfa is much more nutrient than like coastal hay. So there is a balance here of like, and we are seeking a nutritionist to be able to guide us for that. So I found a few online resources because working horses or draft horses, that breed in particular, is meant to obviously fuel them, but their work has to balance it out. So as Roman is considered a senior, he needs a different fiber, fat, protein ratio. So we're looking into all of that of exactly what to feed. So because 40 pounds of alfalfa with free choice coastal hay plus grain plus pasture is too much. So we got to find a balance in that. And
yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
And we're going to, but what we'll have to do is just remember that the alfalfa hay that we're feeding right now is fresh cut alfalfa. It's some of the first cuts.
Yeah.
Because alfalfa grows. And so the earlier the cuts, the more heavily fertilized, the richer it's going to be.
Yeah.
Which is why everyone is just loving the alfalfa right now, which means I don't know if we should give them less. I don't know. Hey, I'm not that guy.
So we just had our first frost. So we have to also consider that the grass here specifically is done then. But the ryegrass
is coming up. Yes.
Yeah. So we have a whole lot to think about in Roman and to make sure we're doing, because we don't want him to get fat because his poor little joints can't take it, but we don't want to underfeed because that stresses him out as well. So
yeah,
more to come on Roman and his feast, but he does know Lester as the hay man.
It's so wonderful seeing him call out to me, not because he really needs anything, but he just wants attention. And I'll tell you what, now listen, there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to understand this about me because you can't see it in yourself. And that's fine, but remember, it was us the lady reached out to, not you. And I don't care if I go in that pasture and put my hands on him and walk circles around and around, or walk back and forth along that fence line. I don't know a job that I would ever try to make him do. I'm not the kind of guy who needs to be on his back. I don't need to ride across the pastures. I don't need to take off my shirt and grab me a rope and go and do crazy horsey stuff. And there's some people that just want to put their hands up and run and take their hands off the reins and just run and let the hair, the wind blow through your hair. So we all have horsey fantasies, okay? And so my horse fantasies at my age is as simple as going up there to that guy and doing this and smelling him, just to smell his neck, and to him to allow me to do that. So please know that I may not be living your horsey fantasy, okay? And I don't even want to get into your horse fantasies because I can't even imagine where those go. Because I know you little girls had Ken and Barbie on that little horsey that y'all had. The Corvette and the horse. I know y'all had the Corvette and a horse.
I actually had neither.
Well, most little girls had a Corvette and a horse, and you don't know the kind of things that little girls begin to imagine.
Mine had okay. We're gonna get into the Barbie stuff. I only had my mom's Barbies plus one other, and then I eventually acquired some furniture, and I had a really nice dining room set, and I would set that little table. I did have a kitchen. I never had a bedroom, but I did have a stereo that was like the one I showed in the Sears catalog that had the place to put records, and it had like CD and tape and all that. Like that was pretty much the extent of all the Barbie things that I acquired. But I really like playing with the Barbie dream house. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, listen. So
no horse, no Corvette.
I have been blessed to have helped raise quite a few nephews and one niece. And now I've been really blessed with a whole lot of, I guess, great nieces. And I've also had students, and I know that young ladies, with all of the things that y'all play, you have your little pretend vacuums, and y'all have your little pretend cooking sets. And when I used to have to summer school teach, and in summer school, sometimes they would not give you your normal grade level. They would just fill you into any class that needed you. And when I had to work kindergarten, they had centers of a classroom, and you would watch the little girls run to that kitchen center, and they would love to vacuum and cook and iron and do all of that stuff. And I'm thinking, these little girls are like wanting to do that stuff. They want to vacuum, they want to iron, they want to clean, they want to wash, they want to fold the clothes. So hold on a minute. All I'm saying is, why do you get so mad now? Why do you get so mad at me now? What? I'm not why. Because I'm saying that the little boys want to run over and grab the G.I. Joes, and you don't see no G.I. Joe vacuuming or washing clothes or doing some station. What's wrong? Why are you making that face at me? You don't see the little boys with the He-Man, the little stretchy He-Man doing any of those kind of things. They don't make a Corvette for a G.I. Joe or a little horsey for a G.I. Joe.
They also don't see those little girls following men around and picking up after them either.
I think that a lot of men may not realize that we're just allowing y'all to live out your childhood fantasies. That's not, I don't mean it in a mean way. What I'm saying is, though, I blame society. I blame it on society for making you young ladies think that, oh, look, a toy vacuum. Let's do it. Oh, look, a toy iron. Look, pots and pans, dishes. And all of a sudden, y'all get to a certain age, and you're like, how come you never clean, Lester? And I'm like, well, that was not my childhood fantasy, Jamie. How come you don't wash your own clothes? Well, that wasn't my childhood fantasy, Jamie. Right? So, wrong? Never mind. Should I just hush up? Maybe I'll just hush it up. I'm going to miss you, Lester. Granny says, I'm sure going to miss you, Lester. Listen, I'm playing, obviously. No, but when I talk about horse fantasies, I get it. Listen, I don't like making horsey videos because I know that there's a very tough crowd in the horsey world. And there's nothing, Della's just digging a hole.
Loose lip
Lester gets
Lester.
the dog bed. I'm playing, ladies. I just tease you.
He doesn't even get a dog bed. He can sleep outside.
You all know that I just tease. If you've had
Rita
a husband.
can be the big spoon. She's wearing a blanket.
When is the last time? Ladies, don't say that you don't enjoy a little teasing here and there, because y'all do. Now, come on, we're just playing. But no,
I get what
fantasies.
you're saying. No, but I get what you're saying, though, about the toy situation, because it's true. I always wanted a kitchen set. I always wanted those things. Why? I don't know. And I didn't ever play with horses.
People are mad at me, guys. I'm playing. I'm not stirring the pot. I'm just playing with you. I play.
It's really weird to think of like that, though. I don't know. That's very interesting. We also had baby dolls and dreamed of being mothers, I guess. I don't know. It was just very.
Dolly says, Lester, just hush it up. Okay, Dolly, Miss Dolly, I will. No, but horse fantasies. Tell me about your horse fantasies, and don't lie.
Okay,
don't
so
lie,
I never had. I'm going to tell you right now. I never had any in life until.
Oh, really?
Until.
You don't think that half of these sweet people who love horses don't have that same fantasy of taking that said horse to the beach, riding that horse along the ocean?
But a lot of the people that follow us have had horse things in their life. So I never had that experience or exposure in my life. So I never knew what I was missing or what I could think about in that way, like ever. So even whenever we got Bucky's, I still don't think that I really grasped any of that. And believe it or not, even with Dixie, I love Dixie. I loved caring for Dixie. I loved caring for Voodoo. I loved caring for Bucky's. But it wasn't until Dixie got sick that I really buried myself in educating myself and the love of a horse. And I'm embarrassed to admit that, but it's true. And my horse fantasies, as you call it, I feel like I'm living it. I feel like I walk outside and I am living it every day.
That's beautiful, then. I missed the lady's name, but someone said that she thinks that a lot of young ladies wanted to be just like their moms. And so what they wanted to play was what they saw their moms do. And that might be true. That might very well be true, that you, and there was a generation where you may have watched your mom, a housewife, and that's what an honorable profession. People don't realize that. What a hard, difficult life as it is to be a housewife. I can't imagine how hard that would be. And no, but maybe you did. You watched your mom and you admired your mom and you looked up to your mom and you wanted to be just like your mom. But I joke about the horse fantasy, but in one thing, this is not an exaggeration. I don't have the horse fantasies of me going out there the way that a lot of guys can and jump up on that horse's back.
You did that as a kid.
I've
already like checked that box.
I've experienced riding horses. Yes. But I don't have that. That's not in my cards. So what I was trying to say, the point I was trying to make when I brought the whole thing up and I got sidetracked, is that, believe it or not, I'm very content just to walk out with Roman like I'm doing every morning, seeing him greet me when I come out that RV, walking over to him. Right now with the air being so cool, I just love that he's sitting there snorting and you can see the air. It's just it's like majestic, sort of magical. Maybe it's kind of fantasy-ish. And he's looking at me and he's walking that fence line. Can't wait till I get over. And I open that gate and walk right in. And when he walks up to you, just the power of each step as he gets closer and closer. And it's like maybe on a TV show, but you can kind of see your head having to start to look upwards because all of a sudden there he is. And he stops. He knows his personal space and he stops and he's right there in front of you, a 2,000 pound, and I call him a beast. He's not, there's nothing monstrous about him though. He's a 200 pound, a 1 ton giant, 2,000 pound giant of a horse. And he's standing there wanting to know what you're going to do today. And so I don't know what to do besides put my hands on him. And I think that every single day we're getting hands more and more on him. Oh, yeah. And then of course we move the steps over. Is that your video?
Yeah, but I haven't.
At some point we move some steps over. So now we can actually walk up and get higher up to him. I think that was on my live this morning. So if it is true that I do go live a lot, and I really enjoy that moment to go live and bring, and I will take anyone along who wants to come. But by all means, if you feel like, oh God, I'm a Survivor's live again, Longhorn Lester's live again, then I promise you that's your conscience telling you to go watch something else. Instead, oh, Lester's live. Oh, Lester's live. That's what I would like to have. That's the kind of audience we all dream of. But if that's not you, you don't have to go to Mr. Rick and complain about me being live all the time. That ain't going to change anything. Okay. And for those who enjoy it, thank you. I almost got a little bit choked up there.
Are you okay?
I know, but I do. I love that horse. I do. And so I think the hardest thing that I'm having to deal with right now is, and this is what you've dealt with for so long, how in the world do you equally balance your time between having, I say two, because I'm also trying to do things with Rita and I'm doing things with Roman. And I want to make sure that they're balanced, and it's hard. And you have to deal with 4. You're juggling 4 horses.
I'm juggling 6.
You're juggling 6 and a job, a full-time job,
and the rest of the animals, and a garden, and a greenhouse, and Lester,
washing and folding.
Oh my God.
Ironing,
washing and folding, and the cleaning.
Guys, I will do that myself. Don't you think that I don't help her? Because I do. I do.
You help me with dishes and in the
Tell them I do.
RV
Tell them that I
and
do.
coffee sloshes
Tell them
on
that
the
I do.
ground.
Tell them that I help you.
You aren't very good at squeezing that. Your shoulder hurts too bad to lean over.
My shoulder hurts too bad to squeeze that hard.
So no, somebody said, will you ever go live with any other animals? I'm going to tell you some of the hard parts about going live with other animals.
Well, I go live with cows all the time.
They're asking about these other animals.
Oh,
it's their location.
Signal.
It's the fact we don't have a signal. At the JL Ranch, you can walk anywhere on the entire property and have full bars to be able to go live. At Longhorn Lester's, we are limited to where like a I guess it's a diameter of around the Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah.
Because if you step outside of it, you have zero connectivity anywhere.
Yeah.
And you're in a dead zone. So we're limited on that respect because we can't pull an alpaca out of the pasture and bring them into the shop and brush them. Our alpacas are not that kind of alpaca. And the goats, you might be able to pull one out, but they're not going to stand there and tolerate those things. They don't enjoy the same.
They're going to poop everywhere.
There's that.
They'll eat everything they can get their mouths on.
But it is also not as easy. You don't walk. Our goats are not halter trained at all. So it's not like you can walk one out all diligently and gently and do those things. So it is sadly, we're at limited connectivity here.
Yeah.
I did ask Buddy for some guidance on how we could improve the Wi-Fi situation here, but we will never be able to have like full property like the JL Ranch does.
We're so blessed. The JL, you can go anywhere on that property. Now, there have been a few days that I lose my signal.
Yeah.
There have been people who watch, who know that sometimes the screen will go black or my voice will be off. So there are days when it's not quite as good.
I mean, that's anywhere in the world.
Anywhere.
You drop phone calls and it just depends on what they're working on.
So blessed to know that I can get on that tractor or that side-by-side or the truck and I can video live from the time I drive up that driveway to anywhere on that property and go into any pasture. And that's just so darn wonderful. And hey, just one more reason to think about what I've been telling you. We could just pack up the whole shebang and move them all over. We need to talk about the new year and the JL North and the JL South. When do you want to talk about that?
Apparently we're talking about it now.
So everyone knows
Surprise.
Now I'll let Jamie do more of the talking because she is our legal person over here. Jamie's our legal person.
Do not put me in that position.
I'm not legal. I know nothing about anything legal. But what I do know is that we are trying to figure out and get a grip and a grasp on everything that has to do with our taxes and our paperwork and the pages. And right now, everything's not aligned. Things are not really aligned. So we're trying to make everything line up and look right.
Hold on a second. It's just about where the mail goes is what's not aligned. Don't act like we're like all jacked up and all kinds of things like that. Right now, like everything that we started was in Plum Grove. And when we initially bought Longhorn Lester's, we didn't actually have visions and dreams of living here. And all of the business entities and everything were listed in Plum Grove. So
we have a Wi-Fi extender, y'all. We know about those. So the thing is, right now, we really spend our days cut in half at the JL Ranch and half at this property over here. But sometimes we can't forget that we actually run and manage 3 different pages. So we've been trying to put it out there in different ways that we have to stop thinking of Jamie and Lester as Lester is Longhorn Lester's as a location. I'm a Survivor is a location. From Suits to Boots is we have to stop thinking about it like that. We have to start thinking more of the way that we are JL Ranch. And JL Ranch has components of...
Hold on. Back this party.
If you're as confused as I am...
Hold on. Just stop talking. We started out as I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. It was all there was. When we bought this property, it acquired a name. Longhorn Lester's. It's supposed to be the home of the Longhorns. And then the Longhorns grew and they grew some more and everything kind of grew. So then we bought the other property, which is JL Ranch. And then whenever Ellie and Megan moved to Plum Grove, all of a sudden we have animals everywhere and humans everywhere, and it's all jacked up.
Whew.
And Lester and I are together. I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. Along with all of you, that is I'm a Survivor Sanctuary.
We are, all of us here are I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, no matter where we're at.
And over the last 6-7 years, we've proven that it's not a location. And that goes for the animals that are here, the animals that have made it to A&M, the animals that are at JL, wherever it is. I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is all of us and is a virtual space. And we haven't been very good at that because as things transition, things got all jacked up. But we're going to evolve. And that is what 2025 is going to be about. And current state, JL Ranch is also us, but I'm from Suits to Boots. And this is Longhorn Lester.
Listen, I think you're making it so much more difficult.
I'm not.
Can I say it in a real simple, in one sentence? In one sentence, I will say exactly what we have to have said. You ready? In one sentence. And it's not going to be a big old long run-on sentence either. JL Ranch North will be a location. JL Ranch South will be a location. And at any of those locations, there can be some Suits to Boots content, because Suits to Boots is only virtual. There may be some Longhorn Lester, which is no longer a location. It's just a virtual page. A page can be anywhere. And I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, which is the animals that are all survivors, can be anywhere. There can be some here and some over there. So I think as far as locations go, we have to start thinking about 2 locations where we work from. JL Ranch North, JL Ranch South.
And the pages are pages, not places.
Pages are pages, not places. I hope that makes sense to y'all. No one even cares, I don't think, Jamie.
Lester, you said it in a paragraph, not a sentence.
Fine, that was one very long sentence, okay?
What we're saying is that I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is moving from a place and is no longer a destination. It is a page.
Now, the last thing that you have to do is tell the wonderful, sweet, kind, and generous people that donate or subscribe to I'm a Survivor Sanctuary not to stop doing that, because that still comes to the page that we feed and vet all of these animals.
That's still what we rescue. That's still like what you see is not going to change as far, but instead of saying we're going to Longhorn Lester's, we're not going to say that anymore, because poor Lester gets really confused because like I can only make videos from one place. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's what I said. I'm as confused as you are.
JL Ranch North is where Longhorns and Roman and Rita and whoever else in the future go, but that is JL Ranch North. And this is JL Ranch South. And that is because of where they are geographically located, and they are home to I'm a Survivor, from Suits to Boots, and Longhorn
Here's
Lester.
what we'll do. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about anything. Nothing is going to change on your end. You already watch channels. You keep watching channels, because think about it. It doesn't matter where any of your favorite creators are at, be it Jason at Cog Hill. They can be anywhere, and they're still Cog Hill Farm, even though they might be somewhere else. And Daniel Arms is still Arms Family Homestead, no matter where he's at, no matter which property he's on. And Keeping It Dutch is still Keeping It Dutch, no matter where he's at. So we're the same thing, no matter where we're at. Don't worry about that, y'all. We're just who we are, okay?
What you see is not going to change.
Nope.
Other than where Lester says he's going. And when he says JL South, he's coming home, okay? That's all he's doing. He's coming home.
I'm coming home. Anyway, so it's true. In the year 2025, I'm excited about it because there's going to be some things that are going to shift and change a little bit, but the pages will not. Can we just stop it right there? Yeah. The pages will not. I'm a Survivor will still be dedicated to all of the rescues, the Romans, the Ritas, let's name all the rescues, the Voodoos, the Buckies. Oh, can we argue a little bit about the difference between a rescue and a surrender?
No.
I really want to debate this with you.
I don't want to right now.
Not right now?
No, I don't. Because people are gonna tie it into this and what can be videoed here and what can't. No.
Okay.
No.
Fine. You want to hush me up?
Nothing changes for anyone that watches the pages other than when Lester says he's coming home. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We haven't been making videos in Plum Grove in a very long time because
Long time.
we don't live there.
Yeah.
And that's Ellie and Megan's. And what Ellie and Megan decide to name their ranch or farm or what they do is up to Ellie and Megan.
Yeah, it's the same as whenever Jake decides to name his property.
Correct.
He's still shirtless Jake, no matter where he's at.
Naming properties is a very Texas thing, by the way, which is why I was really going the angle I was going with everyone on that, because to you it's very normal to drive by different properties.
Yeah, we name them.
Everybody names them and puts up a sign. Everyone in
so
Texas.
y'all don't do that.
No one does that unless
so guys,
it is a legit dairy farm or something like that.
No, if you don't know that, you drive across. You can drive from here to Plum Grove and pass 50 named properties, and some folks will have, like Jamie said, big post out front with a sign across the top, lettering that will say the name of the ranch, name of the farm.
People name their own little homes, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like that's a very Texas thing to do. You can live on a quarter of an acre, and people name it like this is Bob's place, and they put a sign out front. It's not normal in the rest of the country.
I did not know that. I'm embarrassed now. I'm kind of embarrassed now.
Which is why I was saying to you, I was really trying hard to be like,
don't embarrass myself.
Well, to make people that don't live in Texas understand, because the pages are pages. They're pages.
Yeah, they're
not
just pages.
Places.
They're internet pages. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to confuse everybody.
That's why I was going down the path that I was going. I'm like, the pages are pages, and the places are not named that. Okay. That's all.
So I will say in the immediate future, something that will happen before 2025, as far as animal moves, we will in another week or so be taking Rita over to the JL, where it will be the Rita and Roman show. The Rita and Roman show. We have to give him at least one more week of quarantine before we can do that. And Jamie and I are very nervous about what's going to happen when they meet up. There are some who are going to say that Roman, because he was there first and because he's so much bigger, will be the dominant horse. That may not be the right word. He'll be the alpha. He'll be the head honcho. Right. He'll be the top, the alpha, whatever. And there's others like Jamie who says Rita is so spicy that she is going to find a way to let Roman know that she's in charge. And I don't know. So my question is, what do y'all think will happen now that you've had 3 or 4 days to get to know Roman and you've met him on all the channels? And now that you've all met Rita plenty of times.
People are saying that I'm never going to see you again. Between Longhorns, your new tractor, Roman and Rita, I'm just done.
We'll find
less
time.
Vacuuming.
We'll meet up when she comes to help me clean. I'm playing. I'm just joking. So there's a lot who think Rita's going to be in charge. No, believe it or not, Dinky's not going to be heartbroken. Jamie, tell him about Dinky and his newfound love interest.
Dinky loves Beverly, like in the worst way.
Dinky thought he loved Rita.
Dinky like loved Rita from afar. Okay. He thought that her legs looked a little bit shorter further away, that it was just the distance that they could measure up to be. And as soon as Rita got in the pasture with him, he was like,
Yeah, I don't know.
And just didn't like her after he got to know her.
That happens sometimes, y'all. That happens in life sometimes. We really admire somebody when we first meet them from a distance. The girl that sits behind us at church, or the girl that we saw at the mall, or whatever. The girl you met online.
The girl that ate your crunchies.
The girl that ate all my crunchies. I sure liked her a lot more until I got to know her. And now
Rita ate the crunchies. That's all I'm going to say is Rita ate the crunchies.
Rita, she's a little bit more than Daryl thought he was bargaining for. But no, listen, and you can, if you have not noticed it in the videos, you just open your eyes and be a Vanessa and watch. Daryl is with them donkeys everywhere they go. He is a part of them. He has fit into that group. Yes. They're not mean to him. He's not mean to them. They are one cohesive unit. And he's very happy.
And do you want to know when they're the happiest?
When Rita's not around. When I'm working with Rita.
When Lester's working with Rita, those donkeys are I'm sorry, they're living their best life.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because even today when I went out to feed, I made a video that I'll play tomorrow. And I go out to feed, and then this is how bad Rita is. We give Rita a different spot to eat than all the donkeys. She has a spot up by the fence, and the donkeys are down the lane a bit. So I give Rita more. I want to make sure she has plenty to eat, more than the donkeys, so that will keep her consumed a little bit longer. But Rita is so spicy that she's like, I don't know about this. So she will leave her spot, walk over to where the donkeys are eating, run them off. When she goes by and eats out of all 4 of their bowls, they have to sneak around and eat out of her bowl to share. So all 4 donkeys, Daryl and the larger ones, are all sitting there sharing out of Rita's bowl. They take a bite and they look for her. They take a bite and they look at her. They're so scared of her that she's going to run back and be mad at them. So we're going to move Rita. Rita's going to go to the JL North and be with Roman. But my question is, let's get back to my question. Do y'all think that Roman, with his size and stature and his maturity, is going to be able to continue to be the one in charge?
Because he has helped like his owners said that he helped other horses learn things. Now, we don't know all the ins and outs of what. Oh my God, you're showing our mess. So much mess.
I'm just showing Hank how he's coming over to visit.
And is Rita the type to receive that? Let's just you know what I'm saying? There's people that are
I don't picture Roman having a mean bone in his body.
No.
And so with someone like Rita, I mean, I'm not saying that I want anyone to be mean to her, but horse people will tell you that sometimes mares are going to sometimes duke it out to figure out who's the top, who's on the pecking order. And I don't think that Roman's going to duke it out. I think he might be like, okay, you want to run around and run circle? I don't care. You want to eat in the blue bowl? Then eat it. I don't care. I'll eat the green bowl. You want that roll of hay? I'll eat this one over here. I don't know if he's going to ever do anything with her. And so when the lady said that the fella had used Roman to work with a lot of younger horses, what did she really mean by that?
I don't know.
And then I think to myself, even though that they bought him from an Amish auction, did he also work Roman? Maybe not like the Amish would work him, but did her husband also work him? And when she says he trained other horses, that Roman taught other horses how to pull wagons.
That's the part we don't know.
How to pull a plow. We have so many unknowns. Or did Roman actually teach the other horse to calm down, chill, relax?
There's my hope, if you want to know my hope.
Yes.
My hope is that Rita sees a tall, dark, handsome, just postured, statured,
like a Fabio
man with his hair blown in the wind like this, and that she's so in love that she'll do anything and to please him. And that is what I would love to see is for him to make the corrections of we don't do that. We don't crowd mom and dad. We don't do this, because if you know, Storm did some of that, but Storm became smaller than Rita, and that became the problem. So Storm in the beginning would not let Rita near me, would step in between and would interject, and then cared for Rita in a very motherly way. But Rita got to be bigger than Storm and more powerful than Storm, and that's the problem. So I'm hoping that Rita's a little intimidated by his stature and size, and that his calm demeanor adds to her in the best way.
I'll tell you a story, and I will not mention any names so as not to embarrass anybody. But I will say that I have a nephew. Like I said, I will not say the name. But when this nephew was very young, his mother could not make him behave. There was nothing she could do. It didn't matter how hard she would pinch him or swat him. And anyone who's offended, just know that in the old days, yes, kids got a spanking.
It wasn't that long ago.
And kids will
I was a
sometimes get,
receiver.
if you were loud in church, your mom would reach over and pinch you, and no one called the popo or the police on stuff like that. And in saying so, kids were very well behaved. But I had one nephew that you could not control his behavior through any kind of physical force. And at some point, his mother, and I'm not saying any names,
so many
admitted,
guessing, and it's making me laugh.
You can guess all you want to, but I will not say it. At some point, his mother said, listen, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I cannot spank him any harder. I will not spank him any harder. And he will not adhere or learn to follow the basic of rules. And that there was an issue in, what's wrong? Oh, I thought you were going to grab me again.
No.
And there was issues in school. There were issues in church. There were issues everywhere that this little fellow went. And at some point, they had to find alternative ways. And so what I'm saying is, could it be that Rita or any animal could be like that, to where you said yourself, we thought that by bringing in Storm, she would be like the mother hen and kind of teach Rita the way. But then you said that Rita at some point got bigger and stronger than her, which I think what you meant, Rita didn't care how many times that Storm kicked her or bit her or pinned her ears back and and turned around. Rita's like, go ahead. You ain't going to hurt me.
Yes.
You ain't going to hurt me none. Go ahead, kick me. I'll kick you back.
Rita's the horse that if she had a listing, it would literally say needs a job. That's what Rita's, if Rita's little listed, if you found Rita on a horse ad and you see needs a job, that means that horse is not great. Can be great if you teach them to do things, but needs a job means they're a jerk.
Well, I don't know.
No, I love Rita. Everybody thinks that I don't love Rita. I love Rita, but I have a very healthy, respectful distance. And I will still work with Rita, and I do still work with Rita, but there are times where I can feel that Rita is not in the mindset, and I'm not going to put myself in that position because it's not that important for me to do any special grooming or pick her feet in that moment. So I will politely put her right back in the pasture and say, not today. And that's my personal choice. But I love her and I spend time with her every single day. And Rita needs a job.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. People connect to different animals, and animals also connect to different people. And I think, and I don't think there's any shame in this, to say that it's like Pig Trudy. Pig Trudy loves me. And I think that you love her, but I don't think that she loves you the way that she loves me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anyone's going to be upset about that because we're talking about a pig. But I think if we say the same thing about Rita, I think that it's going to offend people because it's a horse and they take that more personable. But I'm just going to say that I think that Rita loves me, and I think that Rita loves me more than she loves you. But that upsets you.
It doesn't upset me.
It upsets people here. I can bet you that it does.
I think that people see what they want to see.
I don't mind saying that Stormy loves you and not me. I don't mind saying that Prim, Voodoo, and Bucky's love you and not me. I don't mind saying that. So
I think that Rita loves, this is really, you're not going to like what I'm going to say.
It's okay. What? A pushover?
She really loves that she can just make you do whatever she wants and she gets treats.
Well, guess what she did today?
Listen, whatever works, okay? And I'm so happy that you are doing things with her because Rita is a project.
Well, I will say this. Do you know that when I taught middle school, we didn't do it with high school because it was too risky with high school kids. But when I taught middle school, our principal would allow us to eat in the classroom with the students. And do you know that 9 times out of 10, it was the problem child, the problem kids, those that would fight and argue and just could not get through their day, that they would do whatever they had to do if they were allowed to eat lunch with Mr. Morrow. And so you didn't really get lunch off very often, because you know that you're going to have 4, 5, 6, 10 kids coming to your classroom every day to eat lunch. They would bring their lunch tray and down they would sit. And that meant that I could get off my phone and have to have conversations. And, you know, your boss wouldn't encourage it, but she loved it that these kids found a motivation. And so in a way, is that you're saying that I'm giving her attention, like in a negative way,
No,
but maybe she needs the attention. She needs someone to say, hey, I'll work with you. I'll sit and talk with you. I'll sit here and have it, you know, because of those conversations when they're in the classroom about lunch, they were not talks about the math problems. They were real life talks, and kids in middle school had real life problems and they had real life situations. And so many times, we've said this before, you have to be more than just a teacher. You'd find yourself being an uncle or being a dad or playing the role of a parent to someone who was not even your child, because they needed somebody who they did not have. And so maybe Rita, in kind of a weird way, maybe I'm trying to humanize it too much. There's people who are probably saying, spank her, water across the nose. You'll teach her who the boss is. That's never going to happen here. That's never going to happen here. Never. Not with what?
I may have had moments with Rita, not like bad though, but just like quick corrective. Like if she tried to bite me, I definitely pushed her away like that, and not in the like, we don't do that. It's more like, stop it, don't bite me. Sorry.
Oh no, I just scream. I just scream and jump out of the way. I did today actually when she tried to bite me.
No,
I don't know.
I get what you're saying, and that's why you were the teacher and I wasn't, because I don't have the patience for that thing, and I don't know how to do. I have patience for so much, but some things I know are beyond my scope of knowledge, and that's where I'm at with Rita. Is I really feel like I don't have the time and the knowledge to give her what she needs. And that's where I put my hands up, and it was embarrassing to admit that. It's still embarrassing for me to say that, but I know that it is beyond my scope. Like I know that I should never be the one to train a young horse. Shouldn't.
Well, I would probably say that neither one of us should. But I would also say that this is where we're at. This is where we find ourselves. And so we should just move on, because I can tell you right now, there's going to be 100 comments say she needs professional help. Give her professional. Get her professional. She ain't going nowhere.
It's not off the table.
No, she ain't going nowhere.
I'm not saying she has to go somewhere. I'm just telling you that it's not off the table to request professional help. That's all.
Well, I'll say this. We have, and you said yourself that we have seen so many horses that have had the spirit beaten out of them. And if Rita has spirit and if she's spicy, then you know what? We are not going to have anybody beat that out of her. We're not. And we will not. We'll come to terms, but we're not letting anyone beat her and try to beat the spirit out of her. We're not going to despirit her or beat her. We're not letting anyone put their hands on her. And that's not going to happen. So professional help in some people's minds means have someone who's going to stand up and lay down the law. And we're not going to do that. So we should probably just move on to something else. What you got planned? So talk about this week. You got to travel a little bit.
I wasn't going to say anything.
You already said earlier, I'm doing Time Out Tuesday because you have to travel.
Okay. I have a work trip, and
where are you headed?
I wasn't going to say that. Jeez.
Okay. You going to tell us when you come back?
I'm going.
Guess what? I'm back, y'all. I've been gone. You know you're going to go live when you're there.
I don't think so. It's going to be 26 degrees.
26 degrees? Yes. Sheesh. Let's play some games, some clues. Have you ever gone live from there before?
Yes, I'm going to the corporate office for our strategy planning for 2025, and to wrap up the year with, that's what happens in the business world. So I will be gone from tomorrow till Wednesday night, and Lester has everything on his plate.
I'm gonna do it. I'm excited. I'm pumped up about
He
it.
did a practice run tonight.
Show me your nails. She had to get her nails done. She can't go to her work meeting with ugly nails, so she went with her nails all pretty.
I repotted plants and everything, and my cuticles were all stained, and I was like, I can't show up to a business meeting.
So trust me, Lester can manage the JL North and the JL South. It's going to be busy. I'm going to be a busy man for the next 3 days, but I'm still going live. Don't think I ain't going to go live. Yes, I am.
Y'all, I'm gonna ask for some
prayers.
But also Lester forgets a few pieces of the end of feed up. Okay. I'm going to ask you to remind him to feed the dogs and feed the feral cats.
Those two things. Feral cats will be hard to remember. The dogs.
I know the dogs will remind you.
The dogs will remind me. The goats will remind me. God, those goats.
Jamie, the sink will be full of dishes. Yeah, I'm aware.
No, we have paper plates for stuff like that, y'all. We have paper plates, and look, plastic cups.
I've already minimized my damage control by
the only problem
supplying all that
with all the plastics and paper is maybe the trash will be full. I promise we'll take care of it. Okay, we will take care of it. It'll all be fine.
Somebody says it'll be an exciting week at the JLs. That's for sure. Lester has his plate full, and I don't. Excuse me.
Move, Hank.
Hank,
you're gonna turn the computer off, Hank.
It is a chore.
Look, live footage of Roman.
Can you see him?
Well, it's night. I got to turn on the night vision.
Hold on, I don't see him though.
So I got my cameras all set up.
I hate to tell you this. You can only see his behind.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Bottom line is I have my camera. I moved a camera right onto Roman's pasture. I know you all can't see, but he's right here by the tree. He's right here by the tree, and I see him looking away from me. But this camera is really cool. I can turn on the speaker, and I can actually talk to him. So I can hear sound. So I know you all can't hear it, but I got my camera system set up where I will have a really nice idea of what Roman is doing every minute of the day that I'm not there. So, and he's not getting out of that bullpen pasture, not to worry.
No. And fortunately, I think tonight is the last night for blanketing
cooler
the horses.
Weather.
Yeah. You may be doing it tomorrow night still. It's on the fence right now. It keeps like giving this little line of maybe. I have to go out and put four. You did one. So 4 more blankets on after this.
But no, we have a really neat camera system over at the JL where there's not an inch of that property that's not covered.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't have them down in the pastures, but anywhere in that perimeter around the RV, there's not a spot. But today what we did was run one additional camera way out to Roman's pasture, because even though from our main cameras we can see the pasture and I can see a speck of him, I want to have one right there. So we have a camera right there at his water trough, right there where the barn's going to be. And that happens tomorrow too.
That I am so nervous because there's a lot going on for you.
There's a lot going on. It's going to be busy. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be busy. But tomorrow they are going to be putting up the big barn over at the JL. So I'm excited about that. But I'm also relieved to know that Roman will have a place to go when the rains come later in the week. We do have rainy weather coming, cold and rainy, which is just miserable. But Roman will have a nice big barn to get into. I'll drop a couple of rolls of hay in there. And he'll be fine, y'all. We're not concerned about him one bit. And then whenever all the rain clears out, we'll take Rita over one day next week. Not this probably upcoming weekend because it's going to be nasty rain.
Yeah, I say we're looking at least a week from today.
But soon. But don't worry. You will hear about that. We'll talk about it. We're going to pray over it. And we're going to do all of that fun stuff.
The one thing I don't understand is it's supposed to start raining Wednesday and not stop until sometime Sunday as of now. And it's big rain. Is that like a storm system? Is that something that's coming up from the Gulf?
I haven't watched the weather at all.
Like, I don't understand what's going on, but we're getting like torrential downpours for an entire 5-6 days. It's kind of crazy. But
I do not know.
Lester's right. The Roman will have a very nice overhead shelter. Once we get through this weather and rain, I know that we're going to make plans for that barn of a build out, but the structure will be done. It'll be done in 1 day or 2 days.
No, it'll be a 1-day job. Those guys are good. If they get there in the morning and they have all their equipment and everything's ready, they'll be done in a day. And so we're excited about that. But weather should be wonderful. And so by tomorrow evening, if I go live, then you'll be able to see it. If not, I'll just have to include it in the video on Tuesday morning when I go live. Hey, Jamie, please.
Yeah. So
don't give me a hard time.
If you could run through the checklist with them on your lives, like you're like, okay, I fed the horses, I fed the donkeys, I fed the ostrich. Like I feel like I need to hold you
Jamie,
accountable.
I know the checklist. Come on now. Like I've never done this before.
I know you've done it, but it's a lot when everything else is going on to make sure that you remembered it. And then the jobs that I always do, dogs and feral cats, like that's the one I think that might fall.
And I'll go ahead and tell you guys now, Jamie and I have not really talked a whole lot about this in detail, but Roman will never come to Longhorn Lester's. Roman is going to be a JL horse. And so some of the things that we've talked about over the course of the 2 years, or I guess the 1 full year at JL North.
Almost to the day.
Almost to the day. Yeah. So we've changed plans, and y'all, that happens. Things evolve, change, plans change, things happen. And so what I initially talked about early on has probably changed a bit, but that bullpen pasture, we have talked about recently about getting a pond, maybe getting us a pond dug up there. And so whatever horses will be in that pasture will have access to a natural water source and a pond, a nice deep pond, a clean pond. And then, of course, we have the back property will always be Longhorns. So things have changed a bit. So I really am hopeful that Rita and Roman will work out to be a great team and get along wonderful. And that will be a really neat addition to have at the JL North property.
Yeah. So somebody's asking why. I don't think that you understand how much Roman eats, and that this property is also very, very hilly. And for a giant horse like Roman, who is considered a senior, it would be very hard on him for the hills, but also he could graze this in 1 day. And I'm not making that up.
Well, think about that for a minute. We all know that there's a rule on cows, 1 acre per cow. On horses, it's more than that.
It's like 10.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say 10.
If that's all you're going to offer them.
Like if that's all you offer, yeah. But I would say if you're going to supplement with things, it's still more than 1 acre per horse. So with having the larger side of our pasture over here, the 10 acres, but with that pond, that takes away space. With the barn and all that back area, takes away more space. So you're looking at probably 8 acres. And we already have 4 large horses and a pony who graze it. And so we don't want to overpopulate and end up making it where they just walk around on dirt all day. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
We would not want that.
Yeah, I don't want a 10-acre dry lot.
No.
So Roman, that's a very flat pasture, a nice dry one. As Lester mentioned, eventually in the future, digging a pond in there, the addition of the barn, potentially some cross fencing. Like there's an evolution that y'all will see over time. And some of it's going to be taking time to get to know what happens with Roman and Rita as well. But for now, he has a really soft place to land, and he's about to have a barn that is as big as he is, bigger, and capable of providing him shelter. And then
we're going to do some neat things to his barn too. Being it's going to be mostly for Roman and Rita, we'll do a wall maybe a stall. But
But
guys,
a Roman size stall.
oh, it's going to have to be a Roman size stall. But
Because that's
listen,
the other thing is, sorry.
no, it's okay.
Roman will not fit in the stalls here. Roman is
No.
bigger than the horse stalls.
Yes, he's taller, y'all. He's too big.
And too long. He is too massive of a horse to fit in a normal horse stall. In fact, what they don't know yet is he didn't fit into the draft halter as well.
Yeah, we're having it's a tough go. That feels so good. No, but listen, that's the beauty of all of this, guys, is that we save and save and save, and then we invest in the property. And then we save and save and save, and we invest in property. My dad taught me that lesson, and I'm trying to teach that to my sons as well. You know, you can never go wrong if you invest your money back into your property, because it increases the equity of your property value. You know what I'm saying? And so to have a big barn, to have the pastures, the fencing, and all the things, I don't find it to be a waste of money at all. I'd much rather do that and see the property value increase than I would blow money on a new pair of shoes or a new hat. I mean, come on, what's the problem here?
So there were a lot of people that were like, aren't we worried about the horses next door? So
not in the pasture they're in now.
The pasture that Roman and Rita will be in, where Roman is now, actually has no T-post. So that's a significant difference from before. And even if the neighbor horses somehow broke into that situation, not into that pasture, into the courtyard area, there's still no T-post between there. It's all wooden fence with cattle panel, which would minimize the risk. The other thing that will happen is we will actually, you probably haven't talked about this yet, in the fence line that they are up against, which is not nose to nose or even across the DMZ. It's at a cattywampus. I don't even want a catty corner thing. We will actually put electric fence across that.
I've already bought that. We went to Atwood's one day this week, and I bought all of the electric fencing that we need, and that will keep those horses. This is why I'm kind of nervous about talking about it. We're going to put electric fence on the neighbor's side.
But it's on our fence.
It's on our fence, but it's not for our animals.
It's to keep animals out.
Our animals will never have a chance to touch it. It's our fence where I'll put it, but to keep the neighbor's horses off of our fence.
Yes.
So I've already bought that. It's solar powered, and all I have to do is take the time to go get it all set up. So we are planning. Guys, I know that videos, you get 5 or 10 minutes, but remember, there's 24 hours in a day, and there's 7 days in a week, and a lot of days in a year. And we are planning, and I will say that Jamie is a masterful manager when it comes to management around everything that we do here. So we're not just sitting here twiddling our thumbs wondering what's next. Now, we sometimes don't tell you all what's next until we know for a fact what's happening. But like, that's a great example. We went this week and bought electric fencing, and you guys had no idea.
Sorry, I spilled that. It's
okay. I mean, it'll be in the video when it happens, but that's what I'm talking about. Things we do, things that we plan. Just understand that there's our time, which is our real time. And then there's time that we share things with social media. And that comes when we're ready to share. And there's no disrespect in all of that. But there's a lot that you could never keep up with. Jamie can, I can't. But there's so much
last
to keep
year,
up with.
I rattled off, where were we coming home from? I guess San Antonio the other day. And I talked for like an hour straight and rattled off all of the plans for all the things. And like, he just let me. And I look over at him and he's like, deer in the headlights look. I'm like, are you okay? He goes, I can't think like that.
No,
I can't think like that. And I mean, like the next 2 years of plans spilled out of my mouth of everything that I want to fix or accomplish or evolve to, hopes, dreams, everything. And he's like, I don't know how to.
In my mind, I'm like, send me a text of exactly what to buy at Tractor Supply.
Today, not tomorrow, not for that project. One thing at a time and just today.
Yes. And she's like, yeah, but the water line's broken. I'm like, wait, send me a second text about what to buy at Lowe's to fix the water line. Yeah, but what about send me a different text of what to buy at the lumber yard. You know, you get what I'm trying to say.
Listen, all my tabs were open on my internal Excel spreadsheet. There's music playing and something's flashing and all going, and I know it's on every single one of them. And Lester is like, I need one box. I need you to put it all in one box, and I will take it out of the box and do exactly what you told me to do. And then when I will put it back in, then we can move on to the next box. And I'm like, well, I can't function that way.
No, I am one thing at a time. I will dedicate and I will devote time to getting those things done, but I need to work on one thing at a time, and I cannot move on here or physically until that one job is finished. But I think that's a quality, y'all. Think about this for a minute. How many people do you know who start a job and never finish it? They may have 100 jobs going on at a time. Not literally, but they have job after job after job. They have a lot of jobs going on. And yet, if you think about it, you never see them finish any of those jobs. You see them start, but you never see them finish. That's not me. If I start a job, I'm going to see it through, hopefully that same day. Because if I don't, I can't sleep. I can't relax. I got to get that job done.
He also is different in the video aspect. So he goes out to record a video.
This applies to you all.
He must come in and edit it and upload it and build everything for it and be done before he can literally do anything else. He can't drink coffee at the same time. There is nothing. He will go to the bedroom and do all of that. And I'm like, we were supposed to leave an hour ago. He's like, I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it.
And you know, that's hard because I run 2 pages. I manage and run 2 channels. I'm a Survivor and Longhorn Lester's. So I literally have to go out and record my video for Longhorn Lester's, come in, build it, upload it, delete it off my phone. And then think, okay, now what will I do for I'm a Survivor? And
meanwhile, I have 12 videos recorded on my phone for all the things to play this coming week. And I can sort through them and figure it all out. I also know that he recorded pieces of it. So I need those pieces to finalize the chapters. And like, in the meantime, I've also done half the Christmas shopping online, did a few at a store here or there. Now this year I'm being very strategic and I'm only putting it all in my office so that way I don't lose any gifts because I have lost a gift or two.
They show up later.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm nailing it. It's going to be fine. But we work well together.
Yeah. I don't know what you call it. ADD, ADHD, OCD. I don't know what all of those mean. A lot of Ds. But I got some issues, y'all. This guy got some issues, okay? I got some issues. I'll tell you what. But listen, I do know one thing. We are already 11 minutes over our time.
Sorry, y'all.
And here's the crazy thing. I know that we always have fun, but I don't think time has ever flown by so fast. How'd the live go so darn fast today?
Especially for a guy who was like, I got nothing to talk about.
I didn't think I had much to talk about. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that we talked about much at all. We talked a little bit about Roman. We touched a little bit on the fact that we got to start trying to identify JL North and JL South. We talked a little bit about you traveling. And that's about all we've talked about. What a boring life. What a boring life we've just given you all. So sorry. But no, we really are blessed to have you. Thank you for your time tonight and for hanging out with us a little bit. Guys, as far as the horses go, I understand that it's not one shoe size fits all. Help me with that one, Jamie. And for as many different horse people we have that we're blessed to have to follow the channel, are going to be that many differing opinions. I do subscribe to a fella, and I'm blessed to follow this fella. I also talk to Mr. Rick on occasion. Jamie talks to Courtney daily. We also have Uriel that we talk to. We have Dr. Cochran. We have Dr. Lauren. Her other name is Baker. She has an alter ego name. So we are blessed, y'all, to have people in the know who we trust. And in saying so, your opinions are wonderful. And even if you completely disagree with what I'm doing or what Jamie's doing, we value your opinion. We just ask that you find a polite and respectful way to say it. Okay? Finish it up, Jamie. Wrap it all up for us.
Y'all, stay safe this week. Stay well. If you're getting some of this nasty weather that's coming too, try to prepare for it. If you're traveling, because this was a big holiday weekend and people are traveling today, tomorrow, I'm a little bit nervous about how busy the airport's going to be tomorrow. I hope that y'all are safe. And thank thank you for giving us the greatest gift of all, which is your time, and allowing us into your homes and phones, even the ridiculousness of our conversations. And just know there's a lot of amazing things that we can't wait to share with you this week. Obviously, I recorded all of mine this weekend. Lester will record his the same day.
Oh, I'll go live. I'm just going to go live.
And go live and share all the things.
I'll see y'all in the morning bright and early on a live.
Just know that he really looks forward to talking to y'all.
I do, y'all. And thank you. And like I say, if you're ever too busy, I'll normally say, hey, if you got something else going on, you got something you got to get taken care of, go do your thing. Go do your thing. Go watch your other channels. Only hang out with me if you have nothing else to do. And I'm fine with that.
We love you so much. We hope you sleep well, and we'll catch you on the next video.
There we go.
Survivor. I'm a survivor, survivor. Who will be the ultimate survivor? Let's find out when you spend a day in our shoes. All you creators, our sanctuaries waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor. I'm a survivor.